foremost, I mentioned this a few moments ago, but COVID-19 has been referred to as an aberration of sorts. And no one could really have seen that this was coming, and really the extent and the gravity of the situation we've all been kind of thrown into over the last, better part of a year, I'd say. So what really could people have done to be prepared for something like COVID that you can't see, touch, feel, and you really don't know is happening until all of a sudden you wake up and it's here?
Well, I mean, I think the thing that's interesting, and you and I talked about this at one point, that over the last 20 years, there have been black swans before. 9/11, you think about the dot-com crash, Hurricane Katrina, you think about the recession, all these things. So disruptions are happening around us. And I think what's important, well, you could not have been prepared perfectly for the pandemic. Right. You can be more prepared than what you were. Companies can, have better communications, flatter leadership, be thinking about, will I have to go mobile? Well, that's happened before. In terms of working from home, there have been storms. People have had to work from home. There have been a variety of situations. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, we've seen some of this before. We've had H1N1, and folks had to adapt to that. They had, vaccines. You had to think about where you're going to work, how you're going to keep your hands clean, all these different things. So disruptions are not new.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that, and we've had this conversation before as well, that maybe, COVID's a 1 in 100 scenario, but it seems like we're having these 1 in 100 year scenarios stacked up each and every year. And so there is an aberration of sorts that's happening. It's just some other form that's kind of, impacting our lives in the business world. So that being said, if this is in fact an aberration, how likely is it that something like this is going to happen again? I mean, it's going to happen again. It's a matter of when.
Well, and the thing is this, it might be a pandemic the next time. It might be an economic collapse. It might be, you think about just over the last week, there's a container ship that's blocking the Suez Canal. Right. One place in the world, and it's going to affect world trade. Right. 12% was the number I heard, was the amount of worldwide cargo that goes through the Suez Canal. So one pipe gets blocked and the world feels the pain. So there are going to be different disruptions. It might not be a pandemic. Right. Next time, it could be a hurricane. It could be an electrical outage someplace that goes around the world, or a virus. There are so many different things. And again, it comes back to companies being more prepared, more resilient. What do you do in case of an emergency?
Got it. Well, hopefully there's not going to be another run on toilet paper. That was quite the situation.